Alright, so I'm going to just try this now. Try the tasty smoothie. It kind of tastes like banana split, to be honest. It's pretty good. Hey YouTube and Reddit, so today we're going to talk about the Shake Shed. So I've been there 3 times now, but I'm going to give a little bit of information about the place. It's a milkshake gourmet store, a restaurant if you want to call it that. It's located at 230 Main Street, Fredericton, New Brunswick. It actually opened recently on March 23rd of 2019, and it's run by Jillian Gillard, I think's her name. And she used to, some background on her is she used to be, I think she was the bakery manager at Costco for a while, like 8 years I think is what it was, something like that. And she left her stable job to take a chance at doing this business. So let's hope that we can give her some support on helping her through this store, and if we like it, we continue to buy there so we can help her, and if we don't, we can give her feedback to help improve it. So for accessibility, I would a 3.5 out of 5. So some points about that. There's some areas I think they may be able to improve in, but because of the location and the size of their store, it's going to be a challenge to overcome some of this. But they do have a flat entrance, so that's easy for wheelchairs to get in and out of. I do think the door is a little cramped to get in and out of myself, just because they have people lining up in and out. The parking, they do have some parking, which is really good. Everyone that watches my channel knows I like it when a restaurant has parking of its own. It shares it amongst others, but it does have some parking, so it makes it easier to get into. Now, I guess one of the reasons why it didn't get like a 4 out of 5 or higher is because they do have limited seating, and that is hard for people with disability. And the seating they do have isn't really comforting for people that are like in a wheelchair. I don't think it would really work out for them. But it's off of Main Street on the north side, so it's on one of the main roads. So it's easy to get onto and off of, if you ask me. So all those things fit well. For atmosphere, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Now, I think that some improvements may be able to be done here as well. It has some seating, but not a lot of seating. In fact, if there's limited seating to the fact that you kind of feel like maybe you shouldn't sit so other people can sit. It felt nice in there though, like all the colors and stuff, and the like the lamps that they choose all clash well. Their menu sign is cute and neat, and like I read her thing. She said she envisioned it and it came out the way she imagined it. Well, it looks really professional and good. So that is really well done. But I think it would have got a 5 out of 5 possibly if it wasn't so cramped. People coming in and out of the door, it's so hard to fit, and you end up having lines in and out kind of situation. And that takes up all the standing space, or a lot of standing space. And then the few seating spaces you have are blocked off or they're already used up. So it's hard to feel comfortable in a situation that's so cramped. But if it wasn't for that, it would have a 5 out of 5 for sure. Cleanliness is a 5 out of 5. Now, it's a really high number, but despite this, I don't have a lot to say. But I will mention that, like when I was there, she cleaned the countertop off where everyone ordered right after everyone ordered. And like it wasn't even necessarily food, just as soon as someone left there, she gave it a quick wipe, things like that. You can see into their kitchen, you see them cleaning their stuff all the time around, and when I was in there I couldn't really see any dirt, I didn't even notice any dust, which is pretty hard to avoid. You could argue because it's such a small location it's harder to, or it's easier to keep clean, but regardless it is really clean. So for staff, I gave them a 5 out of 5 for a few reasons, and I thought they really excelled here. Was that they were really happy the whole time they were doing it, but every time a drink went out, they updated everybody of their order, which can be quite the task to do, and to remember everybody and what they got. And the few times they didn't remember, they just would ask verification, and then they would tell them the update on that drink like they knew, which was good. And they always smiled the whole time, and you never felt like felt down because of all the work, because they were quite busy. But also, when they handed me my order every time I was there, they also asked me if there was anything else I wanted, which is a super rare thing. It's like at a restaurant, like generally they ask you like if you want extra like ketchup or something. That's about it. They never ask if you want another order or something. Which you're thinking, well, why would you want another order? You just ordered. But sometimes like you think like to yourself, well, I wish I got a dessert or something like that, all right? Or I should have picked one up for somebody else. So it's really nice that they put that touch on there. Now for options, I gave them a 3.5 out of 5. So the options were good. I think they were a little bit above average. There's a lot of creative options for their shakes, and they had original shake options and some desserts, and they also had some warm drink options, so that goes good. So not everything's cold. And they said there's more to come, as well as a few of their options are vegan. I'm not sure exactly what makes something vegan, but they do have vegan options. So that's really nice, and they said they're planning to do more in the way of meeting vegan standards. But I know it's not really their thing, but like it seems weird they don't have floats, like pop floats, and I noticed they didn't sell sodas. I did notice that when I was speaking to her, she said they do sell floats now, I think is what she said, but they weren't when I was there. Um, and the options are good, like I said, for what she sells. They're really good options, but like if you're going for something else, of course they're not going to have it. So that's why it is what it is for a score. For wait time, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Now originally I was going to give it a 2 out of 5, but I realized that it needed some give because the kind of food they sell, right? Like it's a specialty type thing. But the reality is it takes a really long time for this food. Like two of the times it was busy, so I could understand like expecting a long wait. It's above average. One time I went in, there was only 3 or 4 people ahead of me, and I timed it from the time I took my order until the time I got my drink in my hand, and it was 17 minutes and 14 seconds. To me, that's a long wait for just a milkshake. And I don't know, like if I ordered 2, is it going to be longer? Like it's definitely the way I feel about it. Like that is their lowest point, is their wait time. So and with only a small amount of seating options, it really you have to stand up while you're waiting, and you're just, what do you do? So for presentation, I give it a 5 out of 5. It looked so good, I just didn't want to touch it. But it was definitely worth the pictures, like taking pictures of it to put on social media. That's the kind of thing you do with this kind of food. They make sure to put care into it. Like when I was watching them one of the times, they didn't like how it looked. So they actually got rid of the top and put a new top on. They spent the extra time to make sure it was to the quality they wanted, which I think says a lot about them. Portion size for the shakes were a 3 out of 5. They were about what I expected from a place. I don't really have anything to comment on it. Like some people said they felt they were a little smaller than others, but I actually think they were about what you expect. So for taste, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, which is very good. I recommend it. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I like things like milkshakes, and it definitely was the best milkshakes I've had. Now, I've only been there 3 times, but I've tried 5 of their milkshakes now, and so far I recommend the Bananas for You one. I know a lot of people are into the New Yorker. I think that's the one with the cheesecake on it, but I think the Bananas for You is the best one I've had, but I've always been a vanilla type guy. So yeah, I guess go have the Banana for You or whatever one you think fits you best. Now, for cost. I had to weigh a lot of things because the thing I heard the most from everybody was how expensive the milkshakes were. So I want you to really consider this when I give this score. The cost, I think it was a 3.5 out of 5. I honestly do. Like, let's be real. The milkshakes start from around $4 and work their way up to $15. Like, I don't think anyone goes over 15. Maybe there's like a $17 one or something. I don't know, but I think the largest one I can remember is $15. But people were telling me there was like milkshakes over $20. There's definitely no milkshakes over $20 that I seen. So yeah, if you ask me, $4 is a fairly cheap one. Now they have the minis and I think they're called biggies for their shake sizes. And the minis are fairly small, but they have the original flavor milkshakes too, which are average price for what you expect. I think they're like $7. and I think that's about average. So I don't know why everyone's calling them expensive. They're not. They're not expensive. So I was gonna go online to gather some reviews or some points and stuff from others to replace my like partner score that I used to have in my scoring system and have other people. But there's no real online reviews yet for them. So I tried to go to Reddit to ask, but people seemed insulted that I was asking Reddit. Um, but I mean, what changes? Reddit's always mad at me. So I did ask some people, and I got a couple scores from Reddit plus from other people, and I compiled them, and I got so a 4 out of 5 from other people's thing. The thing that I heard the most from them was that it was too expensive, but tastes really good. And a lot of people said they were only going to eat there like once, maybe, or twice a summer, never more, because it's too expensive. Like I've said, I don't think they're expensive at all. For a milkshake, if you're going for a milkshake, it seems very reasonable there. So for other, I gave it a 3 out of 5. And I have some reason to talk about why. There's quite a few things I guess I want to touch base on. One is they have a small entrance door. It's actually about average for entering a building. But the thing is, since the inside's so small and the wait times are so high, you have a lineup going in and a lineup coming out. And it's really only big enough for one person, like, to pass through. And then when someone wants to leave after they've got their order, it's really hard to get out of. And people have these shakes that are like, they're overflowing because they overflow them a little bit. They have these little lips, so like there's a potential for dropping, and I have to be careful, and it's really inconvenient. As far as I know, there's no outdoor seating. I didn't see any. I think that would do them a world of good if they had like picnic tables outside. That would be awesome. And like I said before, it's hard to travel with the shakes. That's another thing. Like when we went driving, me and my wife, we had 3, and there was only the 2 of us to hold them. Like you can't really put them in your drink trays because you don't want them to like to hit the side of the car or something a little bit because they don't fit perfectly. And then if you're holding them, well, you don't want them to shake on you. Like, just wasn't a perfect mix for traveling in the car with. It was something maybe you can walk with or sit down with. But that was something, I'm not sure how they'd address that exactly. Then another thing I wanted to mention is the Downy Brownie milkshake. Every dollar from the milkshakes from that go towards a charity. I'm not sure what it's for. I think it's for cancer. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's for related to some musical artist in Canada that had some kind of thing and he died from it anyways. And they donate to that charity. I don't know if they do any other charity things. They also sell little milkshakes, I think, for dogs. But I don't really know much about that either. Yeah, I think they're $2. And the proceeds from that actually go to the SPCA now that it comes to my mind. So, yeah, those are all the things to mention in the other section. So finally, that gives it a 46.5 out of 60, which translates to like 3.875 out of 5, or if you want to look at it as a percent, 77.5 out of 100. So that's kind of the score we're looking at, a 77.5 out of 100, or you can just round it up to 78 if you want, which is pretty good. To me, anything that's 60 and above is awesome. So like between 60 and 80 is good. You should go there and try it. 80 and above would be like you have to go there all the time kind of deal, or whenever you can. So they're not quite to the 80 and above, but they're fairly close. I honestly think if they dealt with the time, improved their time somehow, it would fit right into there. But there's nothing else really like it in the city. So I definitely think everyone should stop talking about how expensive it is and go there and give it a chance. Now, suggestions for the kind of people who might want to go there, like if you're talking about that, I think it makes a really good spot for dates. And it's right near one of the paths, the walking trails. There's one not far from it. And they have a little seating area down close to the superstore where you could go sit and it'd be really romantic, I think. I don't know if it's necessarily a place where you'd bring kids all the time, because it'd be hard to deal with them, but I definitely think it's the thing for adults to do. And when you take pictures of them, they look really nice. So yeah, go check it out. One last thing to drop into you before I head out is that I just want to say they're closed Monday or Tuesday, just so you know. And they're open from like 12 to 7 most every day but Sunday. They're open a shorter time, I'm not sure what it was. But I also wanted to say too that I talked to her briefly on Facebook, and I'll put that conversation on a picture that's going to come up soon while I'm playing the outro or whatever. And I may put a comment or two from Reddit or something, or what other people have said about it, so you can see their comments. Okay, yeah, thanks. Bye, guys.